Hello, welcome to a new video of the course. During this video we are going to learn how to create stat type charts. Stat charts allows us to display a number, a value, or several values that I want to highlight with respect to something. They are very useful to highlight certain values. For example, let's say I have the units sold for each type of product. I would like to have a stat here, a statistical type graph that shows me the total units sold. So, for that, I'm going to make use of the same query that we have created in the video above. And to do that I'm going to duplicate the previous panel. I'm going to select More and Duplicate. This way I have the same panel repeated. I go into Edit mode and, within the graph, I'm going to select Stat instead of Bar Chart. And it has automatically show a certain value. First of all, this area corresponds to the one that were on the bar chart. If I switch back to a bar chart type, I can check that the bars correspond to the stat chart area. I go back to the stat graph. What does the number that appears inside this graph represent? This number it is configured within the panel properties, on the right, in a block called Value Options. In the calculation property I can choose which calculation I want to use to display the number. Currently, it reads last, which means that it is putting the last value of the series. If I come to Table View and scroll down, I can see that the last value, which is wrench, has this number of units. For example, if we go up we see that the first product, the drill, has 12,000 units. I remove the table view. If within the value options property I now indicate that what I want to see is the first value, we see that the number has changed to the first value in the list. As you can see, in this property I have different options. I can see the minimum value, the maximum value, the average, or the total. If I want to know how many items have been sold, I change the function to total, because it returns the total sum of the units sold. Let's look at some more interesting options. For example, in the property Graph Mode, I can select the None option. With this I can remove the area and keep only the number. For example, if I'm not interested in the values I have at all and all I want to do is show the number of units sold. If I go further down, I also have the possibility to change the color with the Color Scheme property. This is very similar to the rest of the graphics. For example, I am going to choose Single Color, ND. I'm going to set it to blue. Now I'm going to change the title of the panel. I access the title property and I'm going to write Total Units Sold so that it's reflected here. Now, this graph is showing us the total of all products, but it could also show the total of each product. To achieve this I'm going to go back to Value Options and modify the Show property. By default, the option is Calculate, which does a global calculation, but I can also select All Values. In this case, it would be showing us the total units for each of the products. I'm going to put it back into Calculate mode. As you can see, by default, all this can be reflected in a simple way. Another interesting option is Color Mode property. This property allows me to change the way the graph looks at the color level. I can select None Value for the color of the value, and I can also select two options for the background gradient or background solid. For example, I'm going to leave it on gradient, which looks nice. I click on Apply button to return to the dashboard. I'm going to resize the panel to be more in line with the rest of the panels. And finally, I'm going to save the dashboard for future exercises. I hope you liked it. See you in the next video.